Hello everyone. To change behaviors, it requires an environmental change or a lifestyle change. To reduce sugar consumption, Dr. Jayashree Kannan, postgraduate student of pediatric dentistry, has initiated such a change at her home. Let us listen to her experiment of reducing sugar consumption.
I had always believed that I didn't have the sweet tooth. I'd rather have samosas or kachoris over pastries and ice creams. So, as a student of dentistry, when I read about sugar and its ill effects, it did not worry me because I didn't have the sweet tooth. I'm a PG student in pediatric and preventive dentistry. PG dissertation is a mandatory part of our curriculum. So, I was reading around topics to decide what I wanted my research to be about. It was then that I came across the WHO Sugar Guidelines 2015 along with some awakening work. For example, the Sugar Meter by Dr. Shraddha Natekar and Dr. Javdekar sir, who is also my guide and the head of our department. The extensive work he has done in his fight against sugar is inspiring, to say the least. I remember reading Dr. Robert Lustig's article, The Toxic Truth About Sugar, and being shocked. Added sugars pose dangers that can justify controlling them like alcohol, I read. Of course, over the past 15 videos, we have discussed how and why sugar can be harmful to one's health. I generally do not indulge in habits that harm my health. Then why was I still eating sugar? What really happened at this point was I had an acute realization that I was consuming more sugar than I thought I did. More sugar than WHO allowed. Sugar in my chai, sugar from the cookies and biscuits that go along with it, from breakfast cereals, from fruit juices that I had so very often, from instant soups, fruit buns, and needless to say, the occasional ice creams and chocolates. I started reading food labels more carefully with my newly acquired knowledge to do so. And it only led to me finding sugar everywhere. So I decided to quit consuming sugar. I would tell my friends, bas aaj se no shakkar. I'm not going to have my regular chai with sugar. I'm instead going to have green tea or black coffee. But then I'd go home and open my fridge only to find a pastry that I'd put away in my fridge that I had initially said no to, or some chocolates, or fruit juices, and these would find me in my moments of weakness and I would give in. After a couple of failed attempts at quitting sugar, I was left thinking, am I really ever going to be able to quit consuming sugar? Because sugar is truly addictive. Around this time, I started reading a book by James Clear called Atomic Habits. As he illustrated the meteoric rise of the British cycling after Coach Brailsford joined the team with the mantra that tiny changes can achieve remarkable results, got me thinking. In 110 years, no British cyclist had ever won the Tour de France. So Coach Brailsford began by making tiny adjustments. He believed that these tiny changes would give him astounding results over a period of time. For example, he had redesigned the bike seats for more comfort, rubbing alcohol on the tires of the cycles for better grip. He even painted the team truck, the insides of the team truck white, so that dust could easily be spotted and could be removed for better performance. And that's exactly what happened. He did get astounding results. British cyclists won the Tour de France in 2008 and ultimately went on to win 5 out of 6 tours and 178 world championships, all in a matter of 10 years, completely changing the face of British cycling. Very inspired by this book, I asked myself, what are the tiny changes that I can make which will help me in quitting sugar, which was my ultimate goal. Pulling out another page from this very book of James Clear, where he writes how often environment matters more than motivation in forming and sustaining good habits. So that's exactly what I did. I started making tiny changes in my environment. First of all, I started by declining sweets and chocolates that I was offered. And I definitely did not put them away in my fridge, hiding them away in my fridge to be eaten later. I cleaned my fridge out of all its sugar and I strictly followed buy no sugar policy. I replaced my chai and biscuits with green tea, dry fruits, and black coffee. I gave up on processed foods like breakfast cereals and the likes of it. So now on a sunny afternoon, if I open my fridge, I find nimbu and cold water instead of bottled fruit juices or sharbats. I cannot find chocolates in my fridge, therefore I'm not going to eat them when no one is watching. And I'm not going to find excuses to eat ice creams either because they're not there in my fridge. This alone has made a world of a difference, and I've been able to sustain being sugar-free for 2 months now. Now, I'm not saying that a sugar-free fridge will solve all your problems. But if you're looking for solutions, a sugar-free fridge might be a good place to start. Small steps like ensuring that the likes of pastries, sweets, juices don't make their way into my fridge has helped me lead a sugar-free life. Now, the idea of tea with sugar is too sweet in my head, and I don't find my morning black coffees that bitter anymore. They say that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Rather than trying to take big leaps, taking baby steps might prove effective for many of us. So pick your baby step. What is it going to be? Sweet Sundays, 2-week no sugar challenge, sugar-free birthdays, or a sugar-free fridge. On that note, I leave you to think. Thank you.
If you have any questions related to the risks of sugar or how to reduce sugar in the diet, please do ask us, either on the email ID given in the description or in the comments. Thank you.